Pay attention, because what I'm about to share will shift everything you thought you understood about your journey. This revelation isn't meant for casual listeners. It's designed specifically for those who've been walking a different path, those who've felt the weight of something greater calling them forward. If your spirit doesn't recognize what I'm speaking about, this message may not resonate with you yet. But if you've experienced the isolation, the refining fire, the unexplainable pull towards something beyond the ordinary, then what unfolds in the next few moments will answer questions you've been carrying in silence. You didn't randomly click on this content. The universe, God, the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things, has positioned this message in your awareness precisely when you needed it most. Not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. Perfect timing. Here's what most people don't realize. You've already completed the ultimate examination of your soul, even though you may not have recognized it while you were in the thick of it. And the response from the divine to how you navigated that crucible, to the way you maintained your integrity when everything around you was designed to break it, to how you remained standing when collapse seemed inevitable. This response is going to completely reframe your understanding of what just happened. The spiritual realm has already acknowledged your journey, even if the physical world hasn't caught up yet. Stay with me through this entire transmission, because before we reach the end, something fundamental will click into place. A piece of the puzzle you've been trying to solve for so long will suddenly make perfect sense. Before we go deeper, those of you who feel this resonating in your core, take a moment to support this transmission by engaging with this content, joining our community if you haven't already, activating notifications so you don't miss what's coming next, and most importantly, share this with others who are walking this same path and need this confirmation right now. Understanding the crucible you just passed through. Let me be direct with you, because clarity dissolves confusion, and confusion blocks the flow of divine power. What you just experienced wasn't designed to destroy your spirit. It was architected to reveal what you're truly made of beneath all the conditioning. Most people completely misinterpret what happens during these transformative passages. They interpret every obstacle as divine punishment, every delayed answer as cosmic rejection, every door that closes as evidence that they've been abandoned by source energy. That's not how this works for those who carry a specific frequency. The examination wasn't about your religious performance, how many sacred texts you've memorized, or how spiritually evolved you sound to others. It was about who you become in the darkness when nobody's watching your every move, when the heavens seem completely silent, and when your heart feels exhausted beyond measure. The divine already knows your capabilities and your potential. This crucible existed to determine if you would maintain alignment when everything in your environment was tempting you to become someone fundamentally different from your true nature. This trial didn't announce itself with warning signs. It disguised itself as normal life amplified. It manifested as extended periods of waiting. It felt like prayers disappearing into a void. It sounded like the absence of guidance where there used to be constant direction. Many of you cycled through seasons where you questioned internally, did I make some critical mistake? Or, why does everyone else's path seem so much easier than mine? That confusion was woven into the design of the test itself, not to damage your spirit, but to sharpen your ability to discern truth from illusion. For those who carry this particular calling, the examination tends to be emotional and psychological, rather than purely external. The divine already knows you can withstand external pressure. Your strength has been proven. So the testing goes deeper. It examines your patience when forward movement slows to an imperceptible crawl. It examines your humility when recognition is deliberately withheld. It examines your faith when tangible results are postponed indefinitely. And most crucially, it examines your heart's response when you're treated unjustly. Some of you were misunderstood intentionally, not because the universe wanted to watch you suffer, but because it needed to observe whether you would defend your ego or preserve your energetic integrity. Some of you were separated from your normal social circles not because you were being rejected, but because specific connections couldn't follow you into the frequency you're stepping into next. For those who carry this calling, isolation isn't abandonment, it's recalibration. The Crucible also manifested through various forms of temptation. The temptation to surrender completely. The temptation to compromise the values that define you. The temptation to speak impulsively when silence would have been the wiser choice. The temptation to react from woundedness instead of responding from centered awareness. The temptation to return to outdated patterns because evolution was happening too slowly. And here's the critical understanding you need to integrate. The test wasn't measuring perfection, it was measuring direction. The divine was observing which way your energy leaned when the pressure intensified. Many of you passed this examination without any external validation. You continued showing up even when motivation had completely evaporated. You maintained kindness even when bitterness would have felt completely justified. You chose restraint when retaliation seemed appropriate. You preserved your integrity when shortcuts were readily available, and you did all of this in private. No audience applauding your choices, no immediate rewards, just pure alignment with your highest self. The Crucible also involved profound disappointment. People you trusted completely let you down in ways you didn't see coming. Systems you depended on failed you at critical moments. Plans you had invested your prayers into collapsed without warning. This wasn't random chance. The divine was systematically removing every external support structure so that your faith would rest solely on the unshakable foundation of Source itself. That quality of faith cannot be transmitted through teaching. It must be forged through direct experience. And let me tell you something that many people desperately need to hear right now. Feeling exhausted did not indicate failure. Feeling discouraged did not indicate weakness. Even experiencing doubt did not disqualify you from what's coming next. What mattered was that you refused to quit on the divine. Even when you felt uncertain about yourself and your abilities, the examination wasn't evaluating your emotional state. It was evaluating your commitment level. Some of you wept in private but maintained your composure in public. Some of you lost confidence in your abilities but never lost your character. Some of you felt completely forgotten, yet you still chose to trust that invisible forces were orchestrating things behind the scenes you couldn't see. That's the true nature of the final examination. It strips away comfort so that conviction can rise from the depths of your being. This crucible also developed your discernment in profound ways. You began perceiving people through a completely different lens. Conversations that used to feel meaningful now felt hollow. Certain environments no longer felt energetically safe for your spirit. You outgrew spaces you once desperately wanted to belong to. That discomfort wasn't arrogance, it was growth. The divine was sharpening your spiritual senses so you could no longer be easily distracted by what doesn't serve your evolution or deceived by what appears authentic on the surface. The final examination is quiet by design. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare. There's no countdown timer, No dramatic moment where you receive notification that it's ending. One day you simply realize that the storm no longer has power over your emotional state. The pain no longer defines your identity. The waiting no longer triggers anger or frustration. That's when you know the test has already been passed. If you're receiving this transmission and your spirit feels seen in these words, then integrate this truth clearly. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared for what requires this level of refinement. The divine wasn't withholding from you out of cruelty. It was strengthening your foundation. And the very fact that you endured without losing your essential self is the evidence that the test has completed its transformative work. You're still here, still standing, still aligned with your truth. And that alone reveals everything I need to know about where you are right now. And there's another dimension to this final examination that most people only understand after they've already walked through it completely. This test was also about identity at the deepest level. The divine was observing to see if you would cling to who you were called to be, or if you would allow circumstances to redefine your essence. When life started labeling you as behind schedule, overlooked, rejected, or unsuccessful, the real test was whether you would internalize those labels or quietly reject them in your spirit. Some of you were placed in situations where your value was questioned repeatedly. Your loyalty was tested by those closest to you. Your intentions were doubted by people who should have known better. And instead of fighting desperately to prove yourself, you chose to let the divine be your defender. That choice wasn't weakness or avoidance. That was spiritual maturity, manifesting in real time. The final examination often asks you to release the need to be understood by others, so you can step fully into who the divine understands you to be at the soul level. If this is resonating with you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. This test also impacted your relationship with patience in ways you never anticipated. You discovered that waiting isn't passive surrender. Waiting is active trust in motion. Waiting is waking up every single day and choosing hope even when yesterday looked identical to the day before. Waiting is continuing to prepare for a future that hasn't yet revealed its face. Many people gave up during this particular stage of the journey. You didn't. Even when exhaustion was overwhelming you, you kept your heart open to possibility. That mattered more than you currently realize. The divine was also observing how you handled success that did not come. That may sound strange, but it is true. When things did not move, when doors stayed closed longer than expected, the question was simple. Would you become resentful, or would you remain rooted? Would you compare your journey to others, or would you trust that your timing was intentional? Comparison is one of the most subtle traps in the final examination, and many fall into it without realizing. You resisted it more than you think. The final test refined your self-control. You learned when to speak and when to stay silent. You learned that not every battle deserves your energy. You learned that peace is not weakness, and walking away is sometimes the greatest sign of strength. These lessons were not random. They were necessary for where the divine is taking you next. And let me state this with absolute clarity, because it brings closure to many who need it. The final examination doesn't end when external circumstances improve. It ends when you improve internally, when your reactions shift, when your spirit becomes steadier and more centered. When you stop asking, when will this suffering end, and start saying, I trust the process anyway, that internal shift is the actual finish line. So if you felt stretched beyond your limits, refined like gold in fire, emptied completely, and then rebuilt from the foundation upward all at once. Integrate this understanding. You're not breaking down into pieces. You're being calibrated for precision. The divine was adjusting your frequency for a higher assignment. And the fact that you're still here listening, still seeking truth, still open to transformation, is proof that the final examination did not defeat you. It completed you. Why the silence was necessary. Now let me address the part that caused the deepest pain. The part many of you still struggle to make peace with. Divine silence. This is where the test felt absolutely unbearable. This is where doubts whispered with increasing volume. This is where nights stretched endlessly and prayers felt heavier than you could bear. And I want you to receive this slowly and integrate it completely, because misunderstanding this season can create wounds that take years to heal. The silence was intentional and strategic. Silence doesn't mean absence from your life. Silence doesn't mean rejection of who you are. And silence never means abandonment by the divine. For those who carry this calling, silence is a sacred space where trust is no longer supported by external reassurance. It's where faith must stand on its own foundation. The divine speaks frequently in the beginning stages because guidance is necessary when you're learning to walk this path. But there comes a point when constant instruction would actually weaken you rather than strengthen you. The silence came because the divine was observing what you would do without constant external confirmation. It was observing whether you would still walk with integrity when nobody was applauding your obedience. It was observing whether your faith was rooted in genuine relationship or simply in the rewards you expected to receive. Silence reveals motives faster than noise ever could. Many of you kept asking repeatedly, why did the divine stop communicating? But the deeper question was actually, can you still trust me when I don't? Silence tests trust in its purest, most refined form. Anyone can believe when miracles are visibly manifesting. Anyone can stay faithful when blessings are obvious and abundant. But those who carry this calling are forged in the quiet spaces where belief is no longer fed by evidence. The divine silence was also protection operating at a level you couldn't perceive. If guidance had come too early, you might have moved too quickly and missed essential lessons. If answers had arrived immediately, you might have bypassed growth that was absolutely necessary. Some instructions are withheld, not because you're unworthy of receiving them, but because you haven't finished becoming the person who can carry them without being corrupted. The divine knew that premature clarity would create premature movement, and movement without maturity creates destruction. In silence, the divine allows you to discover your own spiritual footing without constant external direction. You learn discernment instead of dependency. You learn to listen to your inner knowing instead of only external voices. You learn to sit with the divine rather than rush past toward the next instruction. Silence forces you to develop spiritual muscles that constant reassurance would never allow to grow. Take a moment and share in the comments. What shifted in you during your season of divine silence? What did you discover about yourself when everything went quiet? There's also something else that few people talk about openly. The divine went silent because certain voices had to be removed from your field first. Some of you were surrounded by too many opinions, too many influences, too many emotional attachments pulling you in conflicting directions. The divine doesn't compete for attention. When silence comes, it's often because the divine is waiting for you to quiet everything else. Silence is an invitation to separation from what no longer serves you. And yes, silence was profoundly uncomfortable. It exposed wounds you didn't want to look at directly. It brought unresolved fears to the surface of your awareness. It forced you to sit with questions you used to drown out with constant activity and distraction. But healing doesn't happen in distraction. It happens in stillness. The divine was doing deep internal work while you were asking for external change. Let me say this gently because it brings relief to many hearts. The divine was not ignoring your prayers. Every word was heard with complete attention. But sometimes the answer to prayer isn't words. Sometimes the answer is endurance through the fire. Sometimes the answer is transformation of your being. Sometimes the answer is silence itself, because silence produces something that speech never could. The divine was also teaching you restraint at a level most people never develop. Not every emotion needs to be expressed. Not every thought needs to be voiced. Not every hurt needs an immediate reaction. Silence taught you to pause, to breathe deeply, to choose wisdom over impulse. These lessons are absolutely essential for those who carry this calling, because authority without restraint becomes chaos. Some of you felt tempted to walk away completely during the divine silence. That temptation was woven into the design of the test. Would you stay even when the divine felt distant and unreachable? Would you remain loyal when faith no longer felt rewarding or validating? And here's the truth that changes everything. Loyalty proven in silence carries exponentially more weight in the spiritual realm than obedience shown in comfort. The divine silence also fundamentally shifted your identity in ways you're still discovering. You stopped defining yourself by what you received from the divine and started defining yourself by who you were with the divine. That shift is profound. It transforms faith from transaction into relationship, from expectation into trust, from demand into surrender. You may not realize this yet, but the divine trusted you enough to be silent with you. Silence doesn't come to everyone. Silence is reserved for those strong enough to endure it without breaking. For those mature enough not to mistake it for abandonment. For those called to lead others without needing constant external instruction. And notice this carefully. During the silence, you did not fall apart completely. You felt shaken to your core. Yes, you felt unsure about everything. Yes, but you did not lose your moral compass. You did not lose the values that define you. You did not become who your pain tried to shape you into. That's not accidental or lucky. That's evidence of something deeper. Silence revealed your foundation. When everything else was stripped away layer by layer, what remained was character. And character is what the divine builds kingdoms on. The divine was also allowing time for alignment beyond your conscious awareness. While you were questioning everything, things were being rearranged behind the scenes. While you were waiting impatiently, obstacles you couldn't see were being removed from your path. While you were feeling completely still, forces were moving in the invisible realm. Silence doesn't mean inactivity in the spiritual dimension. It often means the work is too complex to explain prematurely without creating interference. If the divine had spoken during that time, you might have misunderstood the process entirely. You might have interfered with what needed to unfold naturally. You might have tried to control what required absolute surrender. Silence protected the process from your well-intentioned interference. And here's the part that often brings peace when it finally settles in the heart. The divine was silent because you were already trusted at a deep level. The divine trusted the work that had been done in you. The divine trusted your discernment. The divine trusted your values. The divine trusted your growth. Silence wasn't neglect, it was confidence. Think of a teacher during an examination. They don't guide you through every question with hints. They step back not because they stopped caring about your success, but because they believe you're ready to demonstrate what you've learned. That silence doesn't mean failure is expected. It means competence is assumed. The divine silence was the examination room of your faith. And you stayed. You stayed when reassurance was gone. You stayed when feelings faded. You stayed when clarity was delayed indefinitely. That's why the silence ended not with condemnation, but with approval. So if you're still carrying pain from that season of silence, let it rest now. The divine did not go quiet because you were failing. The silence came because you were being trusted with something greater, and that understanding changes everything. And let me take you one layer deeper, because this understanding brings real healing to wounded places. The divine silence was also teaching you how to hear differently. Before the silence, you may have relied on signs, feelings, emotions, or immediate clarity to know the divine was present. But silence retrains the spirit at a fundamental level. It sharpens inner knowing. It teaches you to recognize the divine not only in words, but in peace, in restraint, in conviction, and in perfect timing. During that quiet season, you learn to move without constant emotional confirmation. You learn to obey even when you didn't feel inspired or motivated. That's a higher level of faith that most people never develop. Feelings come and go like waves. Conviction remains steady. The divine was shifting you from emotional faith to anchored faith, from needing to feel the divine's presence, to trusting that the divine is with you even when you feel absolutely nothing. Silence also exposed distractions you once tolerated without question. Things that felt normal before suddenly felt heavy and draining. Conversations depleted you. Environments disturbed your peace. That wasn't you becoming distant or cold toward life. That was discernment growing stronger. The divine was refining your sensitivity so you could no longer ignore what disrupts your spirit. Silence clears spiritual noise. And here's something very important to understand. The divine was silent so you would stop negotiating. Some prayers aren't meant to be debated or bargained with. Some assignments aren't meant to be delayed through discussion. In silence, bargaining ends and surrender begins. You stopped asking the divine to explain every decision, and you started aligning yourself instead with what is. That alignment is where true power lives. You may have felt like you were walking blind through darkness, but you were actually walking by trust, step by step, day by day, without applause, without reassurance. And yet you did not turn back toward what was familiar. That kind of faith doesn't shout loudly, it stands quietly. So when you look back at that season and remember how quiet it felt, remember this instead. The divine was not distant. The divine was close enough to trust you with silence. And not everyone is trusted like that. What you accomplished without recognizing it. Now listen to me carefully, because this is where many people like you underestimate themselves severely. You keep replaying what you think you did wrong. You keep questioning your delays, your emotional responses, your moments of weakness, but you're missing something vitally important. You passed the examination not because you were flawless, but because of what you did right, often without even knowing it mattered to your journey. First, you stayed when leaving would have been infinitely easier. That alone speaks volumes about your character. Many people walk away from the divine when things stop making logical sense. They leave when prayers feel unanswered. They detach when faith stops feeling rewarding. You didn't. Even when you felt exhausted beyond measure. Even when you questioned quietly in your heart. Even when you felt emotionally drained, you stayed connected. You may not have felt strong, but you were faithful. And faithfulness carries more weight than enthusiasm ever could. You also learned restraint in ways that heaven takes very seriously. You were provoked repeatedly, misunderstood by those closest to you, sometimes even disrespected openly. You had opportunities to defend yourself aggressively, to explain your position, to correct false narratives, to prove your worth to doubters. And yet, more often than not, you chose silence instead. Not because you were afraid of confrontation, but because something in you matured beyond the need to win every argument. You realized that not every battle deserves your voice or your energy. That was wisdom forming in real time. You also resisted becoming bitter, and do not take this lightly. Bitterness is one of the most dangerous traps for those who walk this path. It slowly poisons your purpose while pretending to protect your heart. You felt profound disappointment. You felt hurt that cut deep. You felt let down by people you trusted. But you did not let those emotions harden you into someone unrecognizable. You did not allow pain to transform into cruelty toward others. You kept your heart soft in a season that could have easily made you cold and cynical. That's rare. Another thing you did right was honoring the divine even when you did not understand what was happening. That kind of honor is not loud or performative. It doesn't announce itself for validation. It looks like continuing to do the right thing when shortcuts are available and tempting. It looks like maintaining integrity when no one is watching your choices. It looks like choosing patience when impatience feels completely justified. You honored the divine quietly, and quiet honor is powerful. You also learned how to wait without wasting the waiting. Even though it felt agonizingly slow, you were being prepared internally in ways you couldn't see. Your thinking changed. Your priorities shifted. Your tolerance for nonsense decreased dramatically. Your desire for peace increased. These changes didn't happen overnight in dramatic fashion, but they happened consistently over time. Waiting did not make you stagnant. It refined you. And let me tell you something many people miss completely. You learned how to trust the divine without emotional reassurance. That's a major spiritual milestone that most never reach. You did not always feel peace. You did not always feel joy or inspiration. Sometimes you felt absolutely nothing at all. Yet you continued to choose alignment with your highest values. You chose values over feelings. You chose conviction over comfort. That decision separates mature faith from shallow belief. You also stopped chasing validation from others. There was a time when approval mattered more to you, when recognition felt necessary for your sense of worth, when being seen felt important for your identity. But during this test, something shifted fundamentally. You stopped explaining yourself to those who wouldn't understand anyway. You stopped proving yourself to those who were determined to doubt. You stopped begging to be understood by those who refused to see you. That wasn't defeat. That was growth. The divine does not elevate those who need constant applause to stay obedient. Another thing you did right was protecting your spirit intentionally. You walked away from conversations that drained your energy. You distanced yourself from environments that disrupted your peace. You stopped sharing everything with everyone who asked. That wasn't isolation or antisocial behavior. That was discernment. Those who carry this calling must learn when to withdraw, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You also endured disappointment without losing hope entirely. That may not sound dramatic, but it is extraordinary. Hope is easy when progress is visible and measurable. Hope is difficult when days look identical. Yet, you kept believing that something was still working behind the scenes you couldn't see. Even when doubt whispered loudly, hope stayed alive in you. That quiet hope mattered. And yes, there were moments you felt weak and vulnerable. Moments you questioned yourself harshly. Moments you wondered if you misheard the divine completely. Those moments did not disqualify you from what's coming. They humanized you. The divine was not testing whether you would feel doubt. The divine was testing whether doubt would control your actions. It did not. You also learned humility in ways you did not expect. Success did not come when you thought it would. Recognition did not arrive on your expected schedule. And instead of becoming arrogant or resentful, you became grounded in reality. You learned that timing is not a reflection of worth. That lesson alone will protect you in the next season. Let me state this clearly because many need to hear it. You did not pass the test by being perfect. You passed it by being consistent. You showed up with the same values even when circumstances changed dramatically. You remained aligned even when emotions fluctuated wildly. You stayed rooted even when outcomes were delayed indefinitely. The divine noticed that. The divine noticed how you treated people who could no longer benefit you. The divine noticed how you spoke when you were frustrated. The divine noticed how you handled disappointment. The divine noticed the choices you made when no one was affirming you. Heaven keeps record of quiet obedience. You may feel like you barely made it through by the skin of your teeth. But from a spiritual perspective, you were steady, you were reliable, you were trustworthy. And that is why the test ended not with punishment, but with approval. So stop diminishing what you survived. Stop minimizing what you endured. Stop questioning whether you did enough. You did more than enough by staying true to who the divine shaped you to be. And the most important thing you did right is this: you did not lose yourself. Not to pain, not to pressure, not to delay, not to disappointment. You came out refined, not corrupted, softer, not bitter, wiser, not hardened. That tells me everything, and it tells the divine even more. Now, if what we're exploring here is touching something deep in your consciousness, if you're recognizing yourself in this journey, I want you to know that what we've discussed today is just the surface layer of a much more expansive understanding. In my book, Beyond the Frequencies, A Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery, I take you through the complete system of how the divine test relates to your frequency transmission, how silence actually recalibrates your ability to broadcast from coherence rather than desperation, and the 9 master frequencies that determine whether you're living as the field itself or remaining separate from it. It's linked in the pinned comment below. And there is still more you did right that you may have completely overlooked because it happened internally, quietly, without drama or witnesses. You learned how to sit with discomfort without running from it frantically. In earlier seasons, you might have rushed to fix things immediately, distract yourself with anything available, or escape difficult emotions through various means. But during this test, you stayed present. You allowed yourself to feel authentically, to reflect deeply, to grow gradually. That level of emotional honesty is rare, and it is necessary for the calling you carry. You also learn to forgive without receiving an apology first. That alone tells me your spirit matured significantly. Forgiveness is not about excusing what hurt you or pretending it didn't happen. It is about refusing to let pain control your future trajectory. You released people who never acknowledged the damage they caused, not because they deserved forgiveness, but because your peace mattered more than your grudge. The divine honors that kind of release. You also stopped forcing outcomes through sheer willpower. This is important to recognize. There was a time when you tried to make things happen, to push doors open through effort, to control timing through manipulation. During the test, you learned the strength of surrender. You stopped chasing what was not aligned with your path. You stopped begging for what was meant to come freely. You trusted that what is truly yours does not require desperation to attain. That shift alone saved you from unnecessary battles. Another thing you did right was learning discernment in relationships. You stopped overgiving to those who didn't reciprocate. You stopped explaining yourself to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped pouring into places that could not hold what you offered. That was not selfishness. That was stewardship of your energy. Those who carry this calling cannot afford emotional leaks. You also developed endurance without hardening your heart in the process. Many people become strong by becoming closed off emotionally. You became strong while staying open to life. You did not let pain turn you into someone unrecognizable. You allowed wisdom to grow without killing compassion. That balance is not common. It is cultivated through testing. And let me remind you of something powerful. You kept your faith private when it needed to be private. You did not perform spirituality for approval from others. You prayed quietly. You trusted silently. You cried where only the divine could see. That kind of faith is not fragile. It is anchored. You also learned how to listen more than you speak. You became observant. You noticed patterns others missed. You saw intentions behind words. You stopped reacting immediately and started responding intentionally. That emotional intelligence did not come from comfort. It came from refinement. In the comments, share one pattern you finally recognized during your test. Something you couldn't see before but now understand clearly. Most importantly, you learned that your worth is not tied to outcomes or achievements. That lesson alone changes everything about how you move forward. You realize that even when things did not work out as planned, you were still valuable, still chosen, still held. That understanding will keep you steady when blessings come, because it will prevent pride and it will keep you grounded in gratitude. So when you look back at this season, do not label it as loss or wasted time. Label it as formation. You are being shaped into someone who can carry peace, authority, and responsibility at the same time. Someone who does not need chaos to feel alive. Someone who does not need approval to stay obedient. You passed the test because you became someone different without losing your soul. And that is exactly what the divine was looking for. The divine's response. The part that will stun you. Now this is where everything shifts dramatically. This is where many people like you expect correction, disappointment, or further delay. But what I am about to reveal to you may challenge what you assumed about the divine's response to your season of struggle. The divine's reaction to you passing the final examination is not anger. It is not frustration. It is not disappointment. The divine's reaction is approval, and not the kind that comes with loud celebration or immediate material reward. It is a deep, settled approval. The kind that says, I can entrust you with greater responsibility now. That is what stuns people. The divine is not standing over you, shaking its metaphorical head in disappointment. The divine is standing beside you with confidence in what has been built within you. You see, the divine is not impressed by raw talent alone. Talent can be given as a gift. Skill can be taught through practice. Opportunity can be created through circumstance. But character must be formed through fire. And character is what the divine was observing this entire time. When you did not collapse under pressure, when you did not abandon your values for convenience, when you did not let bitterness take root in your heart, the divine took note. The divine saw you when no one else did. The divine saw the nights you questioned quietly in the darkness. The divine saw the days you showed up without any strength left. The divine saw the moments you chose peace when chaos was readily available. And heaven responded long before you noticed anything change in the physical realm. Here's what many do not understand about this process. The divine's reaction often happens before visible results appear in your life. Heaven moves first in the spiritual realm. Alignment happens first at an energetic level. Authority is granted first in the invisible. Manifestation comes last in the physical. Just because you have not seen immediate change does not mean nothing happened. It means something happened in the unseen realm that must now unfold gradually in time. The divine's reaction was also relief. Not because there was doubt about your capacity, but because the process worked exactly as designed. The refinement produced exactly what it was meant to produce. You did not break. You did not lose yourself. You did not abandon your path. That confirmed something important to the divine. You are ready for greater responsibility. And let me tell you something that will settle your heart if you receive it. The divine is not in a hurry to reward you the way humans are. The divine is precise. The divine is intentional. The divine releases blessings when the vessel is ready to hold them, not when the desire is loudest. And right now, the divine is preparing the release in a way that will not overwhelm you or corrupt you with premature success. The divine's reaction also includes repositioning that you may not fully understand yet. Some doors closed quietly without explanation. Some people drifted away naturally. Some opportunities dissolved without warning. That was not loss. That was divine adjustment. The divine was clearing space, making room, removing distractions that could interfere with what comes next in your journey. Another part of the divine's reaction is increased trust. The divine trusts your judgment more now. The divine trusts your discernment. The divine trusts your restraint. That is why you may feel less anxious even before external things change. Peace is often the first sign of approval manifesting. Chaos fades when authority settles into your being. The divine is also protecting you differently now. Attacks that once shook you to your core no longer land the same way. Criticism does not cut as deep. Delays no longer provoke panic. That is not because life became easier suddenly. It is because your foundation became stronger. The divine's reaction included strengthening your inner world so external circumstances have less power over your emotional state. And yes, blessings are part of the divine's reaction. But they are not always obvious at first glance. Sometimes the blessing is clarity where there was confusion. Sometimes it is peace where there was turmoil. Sometimes it is confidence without arrogance. Sometimes it is knowing when to move and when to wait. These blessings may not impress others, but they will preserve you for the long journey ahead. Let me be clear about something crucial. The divine is not testing you anymore the way it was before. That season has ended. This does not mean life will be perfect from now on, but it does mean the pressure has shifted in quality. You are no longer being refined, you are being trusted. And trust changes everything about how you operate. When the divine trusts you, it allows you more freedom to move. It allows you to make decisions with confidence. It allows you to lead without constant fear. That is why some of you feel a quiet authority rising within you that wasn't there before. That is not ego inflating. That is alignment manifesting. The divine's reaction also includes timing acceleration in specific areas. What took agonizingly long before may now move faster. Doors that resisted may now open effortlessly. Conversations that stalled may now flow naturally. Do not be surprised if things begin aligning without force. That is a sign the resistance has been removed from your path. But let me caution you gently here. The divine's approval does not mean complacency is acceptable. It means responsibility increases. The same character that carried you through the test must carry you through the blessing. The same humility that kept you grounded in silence must keep you grounded in movement and success. The divine is pleased with you, but the divine is also inviting you to stay aware and conscious. Pride ruins what obedience builds. Stay teachable, stay anchored, stay aligned. And if you are wondering why you have not felt overwhelming excitement yet, let me explain. Mature blessings often arrive quietly. They settle into your life instead of shaking it. They feel stable instead of dramatic. That is because the divine is building something sustainable, not temporary, something that will last. The divine's reaction is not a moment. It is a posture. The divine is postured towards you with confidence, with trust, with approval. And that is far more powerful than temporary applause could ever be. So if you are waiting for thunder and fireworks, let that expectation go. The real miracle already happened. You became someone who can carry what is coming without losing yourself. That is what stunned heaven. And that is why what comes next will feel different from anything you've experienced before. And there is one more truth about the divine's reaction that needs to settle deep in your spirit, because it changes how you move forward from this point. The divine is not reacting to you as someone who barely survived. The divine is responding to you as someone who proved stability under pressure. That distinction matters profoundly. Survivors are protected. Stewards are entrusted with kingdoms. And you have moved into a place of trust. The divine's reaction includes elevation that is internal before it is external. Before positions change in the physical world, perception changes internally. Before circumstances shift visibly, confidence settles into your being. You may notice that you no longer chase urgency the way you used to. You are not rushing frantically. You are not anxious about every detail. You are not desperate for specific outcomes. That calm is not complacency. It is authority settling into your consciousness. The divine has anchored you so you can move with clarity instead of fear. Another part of the divine's reaction is strategic silence lifting in specific areas. Where things felt completely blocked before, insight begins to return. Not necessarily loud instructions shouted from heaven, but gentle clarity that emerges naturally. You begin to know when to act and when to wait without needing constant validation. That inner alignment is the divine saying, "I trust your discernment now." You may also notice that resistance from others increases even as peace increases within you. That is not coincidence. When the divine approves you, your presence changes. It exposes insecurity in others. It challenges systems built on fear and control. That is why some people may react to you differently now. Stay grounded. Do not absorb what is not yours to carry. The divine's reaction also includes divine restraint for your protection. The divine will not allow you to step into environments that would drain you unnecessarily. If something falls apart now, it is not punishment, it is protection. The divine is guarding your energy, your focus, and your peace more intentionally, because what you carry now requires preservation. And yes, tangible blessings are coming, but they will arrive in alignment with your capacity to manage them without being corrupted. The divine does not overwhelm those it trusts. The divine equips them gradually, wisely, and intentionally. What comes next will not cost you your peace. It will add to it. One of the most stunning parts of the divine's reaction is this. The divine is no longer proving anything to you. The divine is no longer asking you to endure just to show your faith. That season is complete. Now the divine invites you to walk alongside, not chase desperately, to move from proving yourself to partnering, from surviving to stewarding. That shift may feel subtle, but it is profound. You are no longer asking, "Am I enough?" You are beginning to say with quiet confidence, "I am ready." And readiness is recognized in heaven. So do not rush forward impulsively. Do not announce everything prematurely. Do not explain what doesn't need explanation. Just stay aligned. What the divine approves, the divine sustains. And what the divine sustains, nothing can prematurely remove. This is not the end of your journey. It is the end of unnecessary pressure and the beginning of purposeful movement. The divine saw you. The divine trusted you. The divine approved you. And that approval is already shaping what comes next. What shifts now? Life after the final examination. Now let me guide you gently into this next understanding, because many people like you feel disoriented after the final examination ends. They expect fireworks and dramatic transformation. But what actually happens is far more powerful and far more stable. Life after the final examination does not explode. It settles. The first thing that changes is internal. Your nervous system begins to calm down. You are no longer in constant survival mode. You may notice that situations which once triggered anxiety no longer have the same effect on you. Delays do not shake you the way they used to. Silence does not scare you anymore. You are not constantly scanning for signs of danger or rejection. That is because your spirit finally understands something it could not before. You are safe in the divine. After the final examination, your relationship with time changes fundamentally. You stop rushing outcomes impatiently. You stop panicking about delays. You understand deeply now that what is meant for you cannot miss you. This does not make you passive or lazy. It makes you precise. You begin to move with intention rather than urgency. You wait without anxiety. You act without fear. That balance is rare, and it only comes after refinement through fire. Your discernment sharpens in ways you cannot ignore. You no longer need long explanations to sense when something is energetically off. Your spirit recognizes misalignment quickly. This does not make you judgmental or superior. It makes you aware. You start choosing peace over proximity. You understand that access to you is earned, not assumed. This is not isolation. This is stewardship of your energy. Another change is how you handle relationships. You no longer overextend yourself emotionally. You do not chase connection the way you once did desperately. You allow relationships to reveal themselves naturally. If someone drifts away, you let them go. If someone stays, You appreciate them genuinely. You stop forcing bonds that the divine is clearly loosening. This emotional maturity protects your energy and preserves your peace. You may also notice a shift in how people respond to your presence. Some will be drawn to your calm like moths to flame. Others may feel uncomfortable around you for reasons they cannot explain. That is not something to fix or apologize for. Your presence has changed. When the divine settles authority in a person, it creates contrast. Those aligned with your frequency will feel safe. Those misaligned may feel exposed. Stay neutral. Stay kind. Stay grounded. Life after the final examination also brings clarity and purpose. Not necessarily all at once, but in layers that unfold. You begin to see why certain doors never opened, why certain paths fell apart, why certain delays were necessary. This clarity does not come with regret. It comes with gratitude. You realize how much trouble you were spared, how much confusion was avoided. That awareness deepens trust. Your prayer life changes too. You pray less out of desperation and more out of alignment. You are no longer asking the divine to fix everything immediately. You are asking the divine to guide your steps. Your prayers become quieter but stronger, less emotional, more intentional. That is not loss of passion. That is maturity. Another change is how you handle opposition. You no longer react immediately to provocation. You observe first. You respond with wisdom rather than impulse. You understand that not every challenge requires confrontation. Sometimes the greatest authority is demonstrated through restraint. This does not mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you choose your battles carefully. You may also experience moments of stillness that feel unfamiliar. This is important to understand. After long seasons of pressure, peace can feel strange. Do not confuse peace with stagnation. Rest is part of alignment. The divine is teaching you that you do not have to suffer to be progressing. Growth can happen in calm. Your sense of self becomes steadier. You are not easily swayed by opinions. Compliments do not inflate you. Criticism does not crush you. You know who you are now. That knowing is quiet but unshakable. It does not need validation. It simply exists. Life after the final examination also requires new boundaries. You will need to protect what the divine has refined. Overexposure will drain you. Over-explaining will weaken you. Learn to move quietly. Let results speak. Let peace lead. This is how those who carry this calling preserve longevity. And let me prepare you for something many do not expect. After the test, opportunities may come that look good on the surface but feel wrong energetically. Do not panic. Discernment increases because responsibility increases. Not everything that opens is meant for you. Choose alignment over appearance. You may feel a pull towards simplicity, fewer distractions, fewer obligations, more intention. That is not withdrawal from life. That is focus. The divine often simplifies before it expands. The divine reduces noise so clarity can lead. Life does not become perfect after the final examination. Challenges still come, but they come differently. They no longer define you. They no longer destabilize you. They become manageable because you are no longer fighting from insecurity. You are moving from stability. And perhaps the most important change of all is this. You stop questioning your worth. You stop asking if you are chosen. You stop doubting whether the divine is with you. That question dissolves. In its place is quiet assurance. You are not waiting for life to begin anymore. You are living from alignment. That is life after the final examination. And now you are ready for what comes next. And there is another shift that deserves your attention because it explains why this season feels unfamiliar in subtle ways. After the final examination, your tolerance for chaos decreases dramatically. Things that once felt normal now feel heavy and draining. Noise feels unnecessary. Drama feels exhausting. You are not becoming distant from life. You are becoming anchored in peace. Your spirit has tasted stability, and it no longer wants to negotiate with disorder. You may notice that your intuition speaks louder than your logic now. You sense when to move before reasons appear clearly. You feel when to pause without needing logical explanation. That inner guidance is not imagination, it is alignment. The divine is teaching you to trust what has already been placed within you. This is how those who carry this calling move with precision rather than panic. Another important change is how you relate to uncertainty. Before, not knowing may have created anxiety. Now, uncertainty does not disturb you as much. You trust the process more than the timeline. You understand that clarity unfolds in steps, not all at once. That patience protects you from rushing into things that are not ready. You may also feel a strong pull to simplify your commitments. You no longer want to be everywhere. You want to be intentional. This is not laziness, it is wisdom. Energy is a resource, and you have learned how valuable yours is. The divine is teaching you to invest it where it multiplies, not where it leaks away. After the final examination, you also become more selective with your words. You do not share plans prematurely. You do not announce movements before alignment is complete. You understand the power of quiet preparation. Silence now feels like strength, not fear. This protects what is growing. And let me reassure you of this. If you feel moments of restlessness, even in peace, do not misinterpret them. That restlessness is not dissatisfaction, it is readiness. Something within you knows movement is coming, but it is waiting for the right signal. Do not force it. Stay present. Life after the final examination is not about striving desperately. It is about stewardship. You are learning how to carry peace, purpose, and authority at the same time. And that balance is what will sustain you long term. You are no longer surviving. You are stabilizing. And stability is the foundation of everything that comes next. A warning and a confirmation for those who carry this calling. Now listen to me carefully, because this part is spoken with love, but also with authority. Passing the final examination does not mean you can move carelessly. It means you must move consciously. And this is where many people like you stumble, not because they are weak, but because they underestimate the shift they are in. The first warning is this: do not return to what the divine already brought you out of. Familiarity can feel comforting after long seasons of pressure. But comfort is not always alignment. Old habits, old mindsets, old emotional patterns may try to resurface now that the weight has lifted. Not because you belong there, but because your nervous system remembers them. Awareness is key. You are not regressing. You are being invited to choose differently with greater clarity. Another warning is subtle but important. Do not rush to explain yourself to people who did not walk with you through the test. You do not owe everyone access to your process. Oversharing after refinement can dilute wisdom. Let your consistency speak. Let your peace answer questions. Those who are meant to understand you will recognize you without explanation. You must also be careful not to confuse calm with complacency. Peace does not mean you stop growing. It means you grow without pressure. Stay disciplined, stay prayerful, stay grounded. Not out of fear, but out of respect for what the divine entrusted to you. Maintenance matters more after breakthrough than before it. Now, here is a confirmation that many of you need, because it will explain some strange experiences you may already be having. After passing the final examination, resistance often increases in subtle ways. People may project onto you. Some may feel threatened by your calm. Others may try to provoke you into old reactions. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is confirmation that something has fundamentally changed. Your assignment now is not to defend yourself, but to remain steady. The enemy no longer tries to break you through suffering. The enemy tries to distract you through disruption. Emotional reactions, unnecessary battles, draining conversations. Guard your peace fiercely. Peace is not passive, it is protected. Another warning is about impatience disguised as readiness. You may feel eager to move forward, to finally see results, to experience what was promised. That desire is natural, but do not let eagerness override discernment. The divine's timing did not suddenly become irrelevant because the test ended. Precision still matters. Alignment still matters. Trust still matters. Now let me give you a powerful confirmation, because this will anchor you. If you are hearing this message and something within you feels settled rather than excited, that is a sign of maturity. Immature faith needs constant stimulation. Mature faith rests in assurance. Do not mistake calm for lack of progress. Calm is evidence of trust. You are also entering a season where boundaries will be tested. People may want more access to you than before. Opportunities may demand more than they should. Learn to say no without guilt. You are not obligated to prove availability. Your value is not measured by how much you give away. Stewardship includes rest. Another confirmation is this: the divine will no longer correct you the way it used to, not because you are above correction, but because discernment has increased. You will feel conviction quickly. You will sense misalignment early. Listen to that. Do not override inner warnings to please others or to avoid discomfort. That inner check is protection. And let me be very clear here. Humility must remain your anchor. Authority without humility becomes pride. Confidence without surrender becomes control. You have been entrusted with stability because you stayed humble in pressure. Do not abandon humility now. Gratitude will keep you grounded. If you experience moments where you feel unseen again, do not panic. That does not mean you are back in testing. Sometimes the divine hides what it values to protect it from interference. Visibility will come when it is safe, not when it is demanded. The final confirmation I want to give you is this: you are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. Everything you need for the next step will arrive when you are meant to take it. Do not measure your journey against others. Their timing is not your assignment. You passed the final examination because you learned how to stay aligned without pressure. Now you must learn how to stay aligned with peace. That is a different kind of discipline, but you are ready for it. Move gently. Move wisely. Move without fear. The divine did not bring you this far to abandon you now. Conclusion: you are exactly where you need to be. Now let me bring this home gently, because this message was never meant to stir you into anxiety. It was meant to settle you. If you are still here listening, feeling calm rather than overwhelmed, then this message did what it was sent to do. You are not confused anymore. You are not lost. You are not being tested the way you were before. That chapter has closed. The silence had a purpose. The pressure had a reason. The waiting had meaning. And now you stand in a place of quiet assurance. Not because everything is visible yet, but because something inside you is finally stable. You do not need to chase signs. You do not need to prove faith. You do not need to explain your journey to those who wouldn't understand anyway. The divine knows what was done in you. Heaven recorded your obedience when no one else saw it. And what the divine approves, the divine protects. Rest your mind. Calm your thoughts. Release the urge to rush ahead impatiently. You are not behind schedule. You are aligned. What is meant to unfold next will unfold naturally, without force, without fear, without you losing yourself again. Carry this season with humility. Guard your peace jealously. Stay prayerful, not out of desperation, but out of relationship. Let your life speak quietly. Let your presence carry authority without noise. And here's something powerful. If this message settled something in your spirit, consider re-watching it tomorrow morning to anchor this frequency into your day. Or share it with someone who needs this confirmation right now. When you share transformational truth like this, you're not just helping them. You're strengthening your own alignment with what you've received, creating an energetic ripple that accelerates manifestation for both of you. Every time you reinforce these principles, you embody them more deeply. And before this transmission ends, take a moment to comment below with this phrase: I trust the divine timing of my life. Let that declaration be your signal to the field that you are choosing to embody this frequency. This is not casual interaction. This is conscious declaration. And if this transmission is touching something deep in you, if these words are resonating with your spirit, then I invite you to subscribe not just to this channel, but to this frequency, to this space, to this movement of consciousness. Subscribe not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent with what you're becoming. Drop one word in the comments that captures the energy, the intention, the transformation you're choosing from this moment forward. Let that be your energetic signature to the quantum field. And subscribe to remain elevated, to remain in this conversation, to remain aligned with others who are walking this same path. The more of us who embody this truth, the more the world reflects that reality back to us. You passed the final examination. The divine saw you. The divine trusted you. And you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. Now, what you just experienced wasn't random. You've been prepared for something specific. The divine approval you've received has activated a power within you that most people never access. Understanding how to wield this gift consciously is critical for what comes next in your journey. That's why you need to watch what I'm sharing next about the divine power gift that's now operational in your life and how it shifts the energy field around you in ways that will stun you.